What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone's been enjoying gaming. We got a video here that I made yesterday basically saying how PS5 is basically going to be carrying Xbox now. I guess some people just can't handle the truth like Critical Sasquatch. Um, my headline was PS5 Pro PSSR 2 will lead the way and be the best place to play Xbox games in the console world. And it's very true. And that Microsoft needs Sony to be a strong publisher. Is that not true? You're asking them to carry you because you can't do it yourself. Sony doesn't need Microsoft. You know what I mean? So he says carry 11 cancel gas. You really want to talk about cancel? Because Microsoft canceled a whole bunch of stuff too, dude. And they destroyed their ecosystem. And they destroyed Game Pass as being the only thing that was going to be amazing. They completely canned everything. So, you know how much stuff they canceled? How many times they failed? Yeah, well, why is your Series S 2 terabyte Galaxy more expensive than a PS5 Pro? So, yeah, they've closed down a lot of studios. They've lost all the best studios they've had. No remasters of the great OG games from the past. Bloodborne is coming. That's already explained. SOCOM, we've talked about that before. The epic fail of Concord. You know how many epic fails Microsoft has had too? Like, no matter what you say, Sony's in a really good position, and Microsoft needs them. All that stuff is pointless. I've covered all this before, so I already know what you're going to say. 400 million gone. We don't know how much that is. And a lot of that stuff was funded. 3.6 billion Bungie debacle. Okay, Microsoft spent 70 something billion on Activision and it failed, and they lost a couple hundred million on Game Pass, and lost a couple hundred more million with compared to what Call of Duty was making before. And they spent 70 something billion, almost 100 billion, to get in that position and be worse than ever and have to go tank off to PlayStation. So what are you talking about? The 3.6 billion Bungie debacle. Microsoft spent 70 billion to still fail and did have to jack the price up to Game Pass to $30 per month and have the worst hardware sales ever in the last holiday. Yeah, how do you feel by really saying that without realizing that they keep having to hit the buy button to stay relevant? Dude, it doesn't work, man. That stuff is outdated now. Sony actually had $650 Pro in the holiday, $399. They did no deals. They even did no Xbox close. You see, there was no wrap. There's no wrap for the year. And they jacked the price up of the console multiple times and their subscription service by $10. Tanked it down, lost millions of subscribers. Every company that joined them, all their metas went down in their sales, and they hide them. They don't give you anything. And I'm telling you to go to PC, dude. What are you talking about here? 70-some billion on Activision. You really going to ignore that and see how much of a failure that was? Had the worst Call of Duty pretty much launched recently? It did terrible. The only reason it did somewhat solid was because of PlayStation. They need PlayStation. So what do you mean carry? PlayStation is carrying. It wasn't on Nintendo. So what are you talking about? The March 10th, 2026 UK lawsuit for billions. A new Marathon is heading in the same direction. Marathon seems to be doing fine. On Steam has a 97% rating. So what are you talking about? Yeah, Sony really knows what gamers want. LOL. At this rate, there will be no Sony or PlayStation. Man, I tell you, the amount of brainwashing here is really bad. You are seriously going to be ignoring how good Sony's actually doing right now. The biggest mistake they've made recently was the Blue Point cancel. And I just read something about the variable pricing. Yeah, that's not good, but they're in a great position. They're going to still sell over 100 million. They got tons of exclusives dropping this year, and they got GTA 6 marketing rights. The Pro is getting PSSR 2. What are you talking about, dude? Like I said, the mistake they made was with Blue Point. Other than that, I mean, I think you're kind of sleeping at the wheel and you're unable to handle reality. You guys know over here on my page, I post my videos every day and stuff like that. I mean, oh man. Mike Parrott says, all valid points, but Xbox is still done. They carry them through their base of customers. Yeah, I mean, you have seen me talk about this on my page when Sony's messing up. I was getting on them, but they turned it around real quick. So, yeah, I mean, Sony's basically going to have to be their carry. They need them to be a strong publisher because they have a successful ecosystem. Even though Sony did all that, look how successful the ecosystem still is. They made more money than ever out of all generations combined because they know what they're doing. And Sony really knows what gamers want. At this rate, there would be no Sony on PlayStation. That's insane, dude. PlayStation's not going anywhere. I'm worried about Xbox and not PlayStation. PS5 is Sony's most profitable generation ever. Cole Porter. It kind of seems like the guy is coping because he's trying to act like he just wants to only point that out at Sony. And you guys see me do Sony before, now I'm doing Microsoft. And he doesn't say anything about Xbox. Like, their mistakes are not far more embarrassing. I mean, come on, dude. They have way more money, too. Critical says, you're not the brightest tool in the shed. I think that might be you, bro. You guys constantly lie all the time. Run with rumors and false narratives. Is this guy serious? Dude, that's all that goes on in the Xbox world. I was over there. I think I know. Way to be a fraud, dude. Constantly lie over there all the time. They constantly lie to you all the time. They constantly hide their numbers. You constantly grift for them and do not criticize them, while the failure that is in front of you, you massively cope and ignore it. And then try to masquerade and try to act like things are doing well and paint PlayStation negative only and Nintendo. It's crazy. Dude, get out of here, man. This is one of the most... This right here... this right here is a lie. What are we talking about over here, dude? I can't believe I'm reading this. Who's lying? Or where does AGN lie at? Who's you guys? Run with rumors. That's all that's going on over there. And false narratives. Unbelievable. And confusion and talking in multiple directions. And having people come out like Macropactor, who used to push for them 24/7, even admitting that they're morons, they don't know what they're doing, they need to call him. And then now he says you've killed the next Xbox already with Game Pass. Their player base is last place and diminishing. It was even fourth place with that next thing, whatever that was. Actually, still fourth place because the Switch 1 is outselling it worldwide. Crazy the amount of coping over there. There will be a games publisher and nothing else. Sony's missteps don't change that. They really don't, because they have a successful ecosystem and they know what they're doing. What have I lied about? Bet I'm smarter than you? Yeah, don't even ask me if I am. I already know I am. And I have supported Xbox since the OG. Same here. I've done it. I'm not going to sit there and take the disrespect that Microsoft has thrown with the Xbox in my face. Like, get out of here. I just no longer trust them. That okay with you? My point exactly. First, second, third place don't mean anything. Sure they don't, man. Sure. NVIDIA being number one on the market cap doesn't mean anything. Apple being number two doesn't mean anything. Google being right there, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any... I mean, they can't do what they want in certain ways. Yeah, okay, man. See, this is what you call somebody they can't accept because what he wanted to support is last place. He wants to tear it out and say first place or second place doesn't matter. Just like at one point sales didn't matter. And all this other stuff does not matter because Microsoft can't do it or Xbox can't do it. This guy's what you call a sore loser. And he's the one he's fake and he's a liar. Because you're saying this only because of the position of the brand that you wanted to do well. And I still want an Xbox to do well. I would rather be competing more with PlayStation. But the fact that you have the right to say lying, you've lied right there. You've lied right there. Saying first place, second place don't matter. What are you talking about? Microsoft is in the place they are, and they have to do what they have to do because they're not in first place or in second place. They're not able to compete. What do you mean that stuff doesn't matter? It matters big time. You ain't doing well. You're not succeeding. You don't have profit. You have nothing. You get shut down. Shut up with that. PlayStation content creators and media have... No, dude. You are the one that is spewing brainwashing nonsense here. That's constantly over there in the Xbox world. Get out of here. I know because I've supported both, and people who've watched this channel for a while know this. I even told them how much I've liked Nintendo. But I'm honest about what I do over here. Oh, no, dude. Don't come to my page with that. That's a bunch of nonsense. I formed my own opinions, thanks. Yes, Mike does. I lost interest when Game Pass rocketed in price and they went multi-platform. Those are two things that turned me off the brand. Worst selling console, lowest player base, forced to go multi-platform. Simp. Basically, yeah. And cucked you off and put on the Halo t-shirt at the last Halo event. Dude, don't get me started with that side. Mike Pair Ponies, $1,000 is very expensive for a console. Also, Pony, spend $1,300. PS5 plus PS5 Pro. What is this dude talking about? You see what I mean? Like, this is like low IQ behavior. Nobody's spending $1,300 on PlayStation. You can trade in the PS5 to get the PS5 Pro. I spent $300 and some on my PS5 Pro. And you can own PlayStation and not be a pony because I've always owned all of them. And high-end PC. And every Nintendo console and all the Sega consoles. I see. What are you talking about? You act like every PlayStation player has a Pro. And everybody paid $1,300. Like, what are you talking about? It was $399 digital at first. So if you got the 700 plus that's 1,100. If somebody had bought both like that, but that's not necessarily the case because not everybody has a Pro. It's a low percentage compared to just PS5. What exactly have I lied about? He says, Says, oh, you can't answer my question. You guys say the next Xbox will be really expensive. That's just a lie. Meanwhile, the PS5 and PS5 Pro is $1,300 total. What in the hell are you talking about compared to somebody just only buying one? Like 90% of people usually just buy one. Sometimes people get stuff on sale. How is the next Xbox not going to be expensive as a console? It's $399 to get a PlayStation 5 or $449. What does it have to do with something that's going to be almost maybe $1,500? That's plus tax too. You didn't add in tax. Like what's wrong with this dude? No one buys Sony games. Most sell very low, forcing Sony to have a different strategy, live service and PC port. So what are we doing? When Sony reports these figures, they are often citing total revenue sales, not just net profit. You really have some balls to talk about that, but Microsoft doesn't give you anything because they do not want to tell you the truth, talking about we made $5 billion in revenue, but really you made no profit on Game Pass because you have to put your first party games there day one and you're not reducing that cost to show people the truth. Nintendo shows the most truth. But anyways, PSSR 2 is way more exciting than anything in the Xbox world because you're going to be playing all the Xbox games on PlayStation. You're not getting their exclusives anymore. They're going back to only exclusive because they have a strong identity. Microsoft can't do it. Microsoft can't get first place or second place. And because of all of this, you're sitting over here just spewing nonsense. Talking about the PS5 and the PS5 Pro is $1,300 and that's expensive. It's like, dude, what are you doing here trying to combine both prices when people usually only have one and you can trade in? Like, everything you've said literally has shown that you're not the brightest tool in the shed. And then a Lost Coscom says, they may often cite overall revenue, but that's not what I'm talking about. They've cited record profits for the PS5 generation over multiple times in investor calls and quarterly reports. Yeah, they have. Losing billions in failed live service and continuing to make them and further lose more money. Dude, the amount of money you think they lost on live service is really nothing. And they made that up by just the profit they took for Steam. So literally it was nothing. The amount of money Microsoft lost getting Activision is not even funny. So what's it? Satya tried to put a 30% profit margin to give me back my money. They failed and lost a significant amount of money, and they have not been making any money. That's why they have to go multi-platform, because they can't sustain on their own. They didn't get back that money. You're missing the picture here. You're sleeping at the wheel. No point in parroting the profits if they're going down the drain. That's what's happening in the Xbox world, dude. Because they can't make back the money they spent for those first-party games, and they're not selling well, and they're hiding it, and they're lying to you, and it's been that way for a while. Sony's making tons of profit. PlayStation Plus profits. Game Pass ain't profiting like you think. And PlayStation Plus is only on the PlayStation ecosystem. So what are you talking about? We're just speaking facts here. You know what I mean? Like, not making up anything. Xbox has to appear like it's making profit, but it was doing so bad it had to branch out, and now they have to put Call of Duty on Nintendo Switch too. And they need Steam and PlayStation and Switch 2 to make it seem like they're doing well. But they're not standing on their own like PlayStation. And even when PlayStation put their games on PC, it was only like 1.7% of their total revenue. And the 98.7% was Sony's ecosystem. That's not happening in the Xbox. They need like 70, 80, 90% coming from PlayStation, Switch 2, and Steam. See, they're getting carried. So, yeah, what are you talking about here? It seems like PSSR 2 has you insecure. PlayStation's success has you insecure. If they weren't successful, Microsoft would be screwed. They'd be done. They couldn't even be a strong publisher. A lot of other people rely on them to be successful, and they work together. So, this guy over here does not know what he's talking about. And this is the type of stuff that's really bad in the Xbox world that is a problem, and I just don't think they understand. And then some of them come here, and it's like, what are you doing? Well, once again, it's embarrassing. You should be more intelligent here. He said, Xbox not reporting numbers is not the reason you clowns think, and Sony can lie and numbers everyone can. It's not. You can't really lie to investors. It's not a good thing to do that. There's loopholes, just like the food industry can hide 10 to 15 ingredients. Dude, that's different though. Sony puts their numbers out. So Xbox is not reporting numbers. It's not the reason you classic. So there he goes again, defending Microsoft. Does not point out the obvious. This dude is clearly a bot. I want you guys to let me know what you think. This is a joke here. Like, oh boy. And this thread got up to like 30-something comments. Man. You don't think people traded in their PS5 for a Pro? That's what I'm saying. Meanwhile, SpongeBob Xbox was more expensive than a Pro when it dropped and basically had no upgrades. Hey man, my point exactly. Everyone is dumber reading your comments, man. God have mercy. So, that's what I'm saying, man. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I did. I traded in my PlayStation at GameStop, and I paid like $300 something for my Pro. And he acts like the whole base is getting a PS5 Pro, but it's a great deal. Go get a PC for that right now and get that type of performance. See how expensive that is. It's just pretty obvious. Like he just wants to say something negative about PlayStation. He doesn't want to say anything positive. I've criticized Sony when they messed up, but I'm not going to do it if they're doing better and you turn it around. That's the point. You want to see improvement. But no, he's not going to do that. He's going to come in being a bot and then try to say ponies. It's like, yeah, dude, you're acting like a child. So grow up. Let me know what you guys think. As usual, leave a comment down below. Oh boy, been a while since I did a video like this. Later, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.